It always comes to this. More nice shit. Guys, just here to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I showed the fresh rose, and this is the second video I'll be making this week because I actually also got the other side of my ribs slash side done. We had talked about doing the highlights in the underarm area here, but we didn't have time, so we just redid the red and the white here. For people who've been watching, you'll know that this one here scabbed up quite a bit the first time we did it, so it did stay red and the white stayed white, but Rick wanted to hit it again because we're doing 2 passes on all of this stuff to make it brighter, more vibrant, and as you can see, we got exactly what we wanted. This is already healed, so it healed as in the first peel. Okay, I say my tattoos have healed already in a week, and that means that they're already peeled. And with the white on black, red on black, all that stuff, usually what happens is once it's peeled, it doesn't really change much after that. I had somebody make a joke about healed, he says, after 1 week. It'll be gone in another week. Yeah, okay, pal. This was almost, we're coming up on a year now, and this hasn't changed. Anyway, I'm not going to get too much into what paint drinkers think. You know, the funny thing about white on black, black on black, all that stuff is, I thought it was bad enough when I started the blackout tattoo stuff, but the comments have become even more septic because, like, though there are a lot of people who think what I'm doing now is really cool, there's also that crop of people who seem to think that this stuff is going to be gone in 10 seconds, and man, when I'm showing this stuff off in 5 years and it's still there, they're going to be saying, yeah, we'll wait for year 6. It'll all be gone in that next year. It won't last. Like, it's been really, really funny to, maybe I'm paying a little too much attention to it. Maybe I just need to let it go. I don't know. Sometimes it irks you though. You know, you don't always pay attention, but when you look, it's a little like picking up a big rock after a rainy day and you just see all these horrible bugs scurry out and you're like, oh God, put the rock back. That's what my experience with comment sections on social media have been like. YouTube's a bit better, but you don't dare check TikTok. You don't dare check Instagram. Anyway, I'll get into what we actually got done and stop whining here. So we did up this guy. And as you can see, it's pretty bright. Already peeled, might be a little dry right now. This is the end of my work day, and I lotioned at the start of the day, but I don't lotion again until I get home. That's typically how I heal things. I'll moisturize kind of twice a day at the most. Sometimes I don't even do twice. Sometimes it's just the once. Kind of depends on the sensitivity of the area too. This kind of stuff, like on your sides, the worst of it is over once the appointment is. I feel much the same about my neck that we did the other day. The pain is the worst in the appointment, and then the healing is mostly just rinse and repeat. You know, you don't really interact with your side much, so it just does its thing. The real problem people get into when they're healing tattoos, this one is also, this is now 2 weeks. The real problem I find with people healing tattoos is they fuss too much. And I find it's the worst on the places that they can really see a lot, like say their hands or their arms, places where they're high visibility, they're interacting with a lot. People get into over caring. They get into putting on too much aftercare, fussing, over washing. I hear from people who are like, oh, I wash my arm like 4 times a day. No, you're doing way too much. You gotta slow that down. Yeah, the most I do is 2 a day, two washes a day, 2 applications of aftercare. Right now I'm doing, just for the first few days, Aquaphor, and then I just switched to my standard lotion. I use just a oil-free, non-scented body lotion every day, because blackout tattoos, I'm sure people with them that are watching this will appreciate that blackout tattoos, when you don't moisturize, they can get a little dry and ashy looking. I'm usually pretty clean. Like, my arms are pretty moistened all the time. But even then, like, I find like my elbows, they get a bit of a gold shine to them sometimes. You can see here they're super solid, but in the right light, you get a bit of a gold tinge to them because they have just a bit of dry skin. So if you get any amount of dry skin at all, the light really bounces off of it and shows that patchy kind of white chalky texture, and I hate that. So I'm always making sure I'm moisturizing. But yeah, so we did that tentacle. We got a little less done this week than we did the week prior. I think we did about 2 hours and 45 minutes, but I mean, both of those tentacles were fucking huge, so I don't mind that it took a little bit, or that we didn't get all that much done compared to last week. It's kind of like, well, I won't say we didn't get a lot done. We still got a lot done, because like these guys are huge. I'll just show them off again. There's a ton of white in these. Usually when you're using white, you're using it sparingly. It can be a bit hard to put in, which is initially what made it hard at first to get the white really white. We were figuring out, how to get it in there, what technique to use, all that crap. But now we're off and running, and you're getting a really good image there, and it's getting better every time, even still. That being said, we're on 9 months for this, and it hasn't really changed. So, but yeah, these tentacles were huge, so I wasn't surprised that they were mostly what we got done. That being said, we're bouncing back over. This session, we're going to be heading back over to this side, I believe, and we'll be doing the white in the in-between spots. Now, don't quote me on this, because Rick may have a change of heart, but last we talked, that's what we were planning on doing. We still need to bring this guy back from the dead, but we'll get there. We're really making some good progress now. We still have to finish up the armpits on both sides. That'll probably still be another 2 sessions each, because the armpits, they tend to swell up and get a little leathery quite often. So, but yeah, in terms of pain, it's always a fairly unpleasant day working on your sides, but nothing like crazy. I would say it's like a solid 7 the whole way. So like, you're not in screaming pain, but you're not loving your day either. But I would take the ribs sides over my stomach just about any day of the week. I really don't like my stomach tattoo days. I've said by now probably 20 plus times on this channel that I really don't enjoy having my stomach tattooed. When I was first having my blackouts done, the last thing we did on my torso was the stomach and ribs. And there was actually one session where we did 5.5 hours on my stomach and side, and we skimmed this whole left arm. And I sat for it well enough, but I actually went home and threw up that day after the appointment, because my body was probably in some form of shock. I think I've told that story once or twice on here before, but that was one of the worst tattoo sessions of my life, and I was sore for about 3 days after. In fact, when I was doing the blackout journey, there was a lot of days where I just didn't do a whole lot other than sleep afterwards. I haven't talked about this in a while, because I've been mostly done the blackout stuff for a while, and I'm very grateful for that, because there were days when I would have sessions that all I would want to do is sleep and lay around after. These days, the work that we're doing, like, it's very low intensity. Like, after the session's over, you feel basically good to go, and I'm working out as early as the day after. Like, people asked me a long time ago, I won't say my physique was like nasty or like pathetic, or I wasn't in good shape or anything. I was always in decent shape, but I've really started this year to really hammer down on my fitness, and that's something I wanted to do for a very long time. But when you're getting tattooed a couple times a week, and you're going through particularly awful sessions, it's really easy to just, for me, it was food. Like, it was really easy for me to just eat. You know, I think I was doing intermittent fasting for 3 years, where I would eat breakfast and then I would eat dinner, and they were about 12 to 18 hours apart, depending on the day of the week. And I wasn't hungry very often, so for me, it was really easy for me to feast at the end of a day. But my metabolism wasn't really great. So now these days I'm eating, 5-6 times a day, generally, with a couple snacks in between, and I'm kind of always hungry. Well, that being said, I've always worked out to some degree, but for me it was the eating that was the problem. I wasn't eating enough. So, but when, like I said, when you're getting tattooed all the time and you're in pain a lot, you're not really thinking, like, you just can't really think that way, So this pace that I'm doing now, and the amount of healing that I'm doing now, and how kind of low key it has been for me the last couple years, I'd say about a year, I've been able to put more direction towards my fitness, and especially because I've stopped stretching a lot of my piercings and stuff this year. I've kind of retired from that now. I think some of that energy is going towards fitness as well. So a lot of people have been commenting on the shape, the change of my body. Obviously I'm not a Greek god. I'm not planning to be, but I'm in quite a bit better shape than I was, and I think a lot of that has to do with that freed up energy, and that being in less pain and all that. So just food for thought for anyone who's entertaining the idea of getting started on a bodysuit. It's difficult to do both a really heavy, extensive tattoo journey and get in great shape at the same time. To some extent, one of them is going to get put on the back burner, because I think it's actually a little bit hard to heal both too. When your muscles are real sore, your body's trying to repair your muscles, and you're also healing from big damaging tattoo sessions. I think you're splitting your resources. I could be wrong on that, I'm sure, but for me, it seemed like it was really hard to dedicate to both. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. I'll show off my tentacle again. Went in a bit of a different direction for this vlog, but that's okay. I do enough of these. There's some topics I wanted to talk about the last few weeks. So yeah, all this stuff is healing really well. The white is doing really good. It's helping these things stay long term, so I'm happy with that. Still got lots of work to do, but we're getting there. Anyway, if you guys have enjoyed this one, I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.